I want to begin by talking about something that might seem small, almost unimportant at first glance. Yet it's one of the clearest ways your body tries to get your attention after the age of 50. Maybe you've noticed yourself waking up more often at night to use the bathroom. Maybe the stream feels a little weaker than it used to. Or maybe there's that odd feeling that you haven't quite emptied your bladder, even though you have. Most men brush these things off. It's just age, they say. Nothing serious. But your body doesn't waste energy sending random signals. Every small change in how you urinate, in how your lower abdomen feels, is part of a conversation your body is trying to have with you. And ignoring that conversation can mean missing the opportunity to act while the solution is still simple. Before we go deeper, I want you to know something important. By the end of this conversation, I'll share a bonus insight, a natural, easy-to-implement habit that very few people talk about. Yet it can help your prostate stay healthy and make any other strategy you use much more effective. This is not about a miracle cure or a quick fix. It's about giving your body what it needs so it can function at its best. The prostate is a small gland with a big role. It produces part of the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm. It's located just below the bladder and surrounds part of the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of the body. Because of where it sits, even small changes in size or texture can have a noticeable effect on how you urinate. Over time, especially after 50, it's common for the prostate to enlarge. This condition, called benign prostatic hyperplasia, is not cancer, but it can affect quality of life if it's not managed. In the United States, a large percentage of men over 50 already have some degree of prostate enlargement without knowing it. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to highlight how silent this process can be. Like a car engine that still runs but is burning oil quietly in the background, you don't notice the problem until it's affecting performance. Our daily routines often feed into the problem without us realizing it. Diets heavy in processed meats, high-fat dairy, and sugary drinks. Long hours of sitting in cars or at desks. Not enough hydration or movement. All of these create conditions where the body has to work harder to maintain healthy function. And the prostate, sensitive to inflammation and hormonal changes, can be one of the first places you notice the effects. This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness, about seeing those small signs for what they are. Early messages from your body asking for attention. Acting on them now isn't just about avoiding discomfort. It's about protecting your energy, your independence, and your daily comfort for years to come. So as we continue, I'll guide you through the signs that matter, why they happen, and how you can make small but powerful changes that work with your body's natural systems. And yes, I'll also give you that bonus tip, but only after you understand the bigger picture. The next step is one of the most important in this journey. If you skip it, your results will be limited, and you could even face consequences that go far beyond your prostate health. Let's take a closer look at how the body begins to signal that your prostate might need more care. These are not random symptoms, they are patterns. And the better you understand these patterns, the easier it is to respond in a way that supports your health. One of the first signs many men notice is a weaker urine stream. It might feel like the flow takes longer to start or isn't as strong as it once was. This happens because the prostate surrounds the urethra, and as the gland gets larger, it can put gentle but persistent pressure on that tube. Imagine a garden hose that's been bent. The water still comes out, but not with the same force. Another common signal is an increase in nighttime bathroom visits. While it's normal to wake up occasionally, going multiple times a night can disrupt your sleep and your energy during the day. Often, this is because the bladder isn't emptying completely, so it fills up again sooner than it should. You might also notice a feeling of urgency, the sudden need to urinate even when you've gone recently. Sometimes there's a sensation that you still need to go, even right after using the bathroom. These patterns can develop slowly, making them easy to dismiss. But over time, they can interfere with daily activities, travel, and even your confidence in social situations. Lifestyle plays a huge role here. In the US, many men consume diets rich in fast food, red meat, and processed snacks, while also spending long hours sitting at a desk or behind the wheel. This combination, low activity, high processed food intake, can contribute to inflammation and hormonal imbalances that affect the prostate. Even something as simple as dehydration, common among those who prefer coffee or soda over water, can make urinary symptoms worse. Now here's the surprising part. Your body can often improve these symptoms when you give it the right conditions. Staying active, eating more whole foods like vegetables and healthy fats, and making small changes in hydration can all make a noticeable difference. This doesn't mean giving up everything you enjoy. It means learning the balance that works for your body. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes what seems like a minor inconvenience is actually a sign of a bigger change happening internally. Left unaddressed, these early signals can lead to a progression of symptoms that are much harder to reverse. That's why it's so important to take them seriously from the start. Think of it this way. If you notice your car brakes making a faint squeak, you can choose to fix them while it's still a quick repair, or you can wait until the problem becomes dangerous and costly. The body works in much the same way. In the next stage of this conversation, we'll explore what's happening inside your prostate when these changes occur, and why certain everyday habits can either speed up or slow down the process. This next piece is one of the most crucial for understanding how to take control of your prostate health. Ignoring it won't just limit your results, it could also lead to outcomes that affect much more than just your prostate. Now that we've recognized the signals your body sends, it's time to understand what's really happening inside your prostate when these changes occur. Having this picture in mind will help you see why certain symptoms appear and why lifestyle adjustments can have such a powerful effect. The prostate is about the size of a walnut in younger men, but as the years go by, it often grows. This growth is influenced by hormonal changes, particularly shifts in testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT. DHT is a more potent form of testosterone, and higher levels in prostate tissue can encourage cells to multiply, making the gland larger. This is a natural process for many men, but its effects vary widely depending on genetics, diet, activity level, and overall health. When the prostate enlarges, it can press against the urethra and partially block the flow of urine. At first, the bladder muscles work harder to push urine through, which is why you might notice only minor changes. But over time, the bladder can become more sensitive and less efficient, leading to urgency, incomplete emptying, and more frequent bathroom trips. What's truly interesting is how everyday habits can influence this process. Diets high in saturated fats and processed foods can promote low-grade inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. Inflammation can make tissue more reactive and more prone to swelling, further narrowing the urinary pathway. On the other hand, certain foods and nutrients appear to have the opposite effect. Tomatoes, for example, are rich in lycopene, an antioxidant that may help support prostate health. Pumpkin seeds contain zinc and other compounds linked to better urinary function. But simply eating these foods without addressing the bigger lifestyle picture, such as prolonged sitting, lack of exercise, and poor hydration, will limit their benefits. Another factor that often gets overlooked is stress. Chronic stress can alter hormone levels and increase inflammation. Think about how much time the average American spends in high-pressure work environments, dealing with deadlines, commuting in heavy traffic, and getting too little rest. Over time, these pressures can subtly shift the body's balance, including in the prostate. Understanding these internal changes isn't about becoming an expert in anatomy. It's about realizing that your daily choices shape the environment your prostate lives in. This means you have far more influence over your urinary and reproductive health than you might think. There's a point here that's worth holding on to. While prostate changes are common with age, they are not entirely out of your control. Many men can slow or even improve their symptoms by making targeted adjustments in diet, activity, and stress management. And the sooner you begin, the greater your potential for better results. We've now looked inside the process, but knowing what's happening is only half the battle. The next part is about uncovering one of the most common yet least recognized lifestyle villains, a factor hidden in plain sight that can quietly accelerate prostate issues without you realizing it. Ignoring this factor won't just limit your progress. It could lead to effects that go well beyond your urinary health. One of the most underestimated enemies of prostate health isn't a single food or a single habit. It's the combination of prolonged sitting and poor hydration. These two work hand in hand to create an environment where urinary symptoms can worsen over time. Think about a typical workday for many men in the United States. Hours are spent sitting at a desk, followed by more hours sitting in a car, and perhaps ending the day on the couch. While sitting itself isn't bad in short bursts, long, uninterrupted periods reduce blood flow in the pelvic area. This can contribute to stiffness, reduced muscle tone, and even mild swelling in tissues surrounding the prostate. Add poor hydration to the mix, and you have a double problem. Many people drink coffee, soda, or energy drinks instead of plain water. Caffeine and sugar can irritate the bladder, making urinary urgency worse. Without enough water, the urine becomes more concentrated, which can further irritate the urinary tract. Over time, this creates a cycle where symptoms feel more pronounced and more frequent. Small, consistent actions can break this cycle. Standing up every 30-45 minutes, even for just a minute or two, helps restore blood flow. Simple pelvic floor exercises, the kind you can do while seated, can strengthen the muscles that support urinary control. Increasing water intake, while reducing excess caffeine and sugar, can also bring noticeable improvements in comfort and frequency. Another hidden factor is posture. Slouching while seated can put subtle pressure on the lower abdomen, which may influence how easily urine passes through the urethra. Sitting upright, keeping the hips slightly higher than the knees, and adjusting your chair height can reduce this pressure. It's a small detail, but over hours and days, it makes a difference. The beauty of addressing these habits is that they not only help your prostate, but also benefit your overall health. Improved circulation, better hydration, and stronger core muscles can lead to more energy, better digestion, and less back discomfort. And these improvements reinforce one another. As you feel better, it becomes easier to maintain the habits that keep you well. However, here's the catch. If these silent habits aren't addressed, even the best diet or supplement strategy will have limited impact. You can eat all the right foods, but if your daily routine keeps blood flow low and irritation high, you're working against your own progress. By now, you can see how the prostate responds not just to age, but to the choices you make hour by hour. The next stage of our conversation will reveal how ignoring certain patterns can lead to outcomes that most men hope to avoid, and why taking action today can make the difference between managing symptoms and letting them control your life. This next step is critical, and skipping it won't just slow your progress. It could also lead to health challenges that affect far more than your prostate. By now, you've seen how subtle changes in your daily routine can have a real impact on your prostate health. But there's another layer to this story, one that many men would rather not think about, yet it's essential to understand. Ignoring the signals we've discussed doesn't just make symptoms persist. It can open the door to more serious complications down the road. When the prostate continues to enlarge unchecked, the bladder has to work harder and harder to push urine through the narrowed urethra. Over time, this extra strain can weaken the bladder muscles. A weakened bladder may not fully empty, leading to residual urine being left behind after each trip to the bathroom. This leftover urine can increase the risk of urinary tract infections, bladder stones, and, in more severe cases, even kidney strain. The progression is often slow, which is why many men convince themselves nothing is wrong. The mind adjusts to the inconvenience. It's just how things are now. But the body continues to adapt in ways that aren't necessarily healthy. That's why paying attention early and taking action can prevent a long chain of events that are far more complicated to manage later. It's also worth noting that while benign prostatic enlargement is not cancer, both conditions can sometimes produce similar urinary symptoms. This makes it even more important not to dismiss changes without proper evaluation. Awareness and prevention go hand in hand. They allow you to address manageable problems before they become serious ones. Lifestyle factors remain central here. Men who maintain a balanced diet rich in vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, and lean proteins, who stay active, and who manage stress effectively, tend to have fewer complications. They're not immune, but they give their bodies a stronger foundation for long-term health. In American culture, it's easy to fall into patterns that challenge this balance. Quick meals from drive-thrus, high-calorie snacks, long workdays with little movement, and the ever-present stress of a fast-paced lifestyle. While these habits may feel unavoidable, even small changes can significantly reduce the strain on your urinary system and help preserve bladder and kidney function. Here's the empowering part. Every man has the ability to shift his health trajectory. And while not every change will produce results overnight, the cumulative effect of steady, consistent action is profound. Think of it as building a retirement account for your body. Small, regular deposits pay off when you need them most. We're now ready for the most practical part of this entire journey, the point where all the pieces come together. You've learned to spot the signals, understand the internal changes, and identify hidden daily habits that can either support or challenge your prostate health. Now it's time to discover a natural, evidence-based way to support your prostate, and to reveal the bonus tip I promised at the very beginning. The next step is essential. Ignoring it will not only hold back your results, but may also leave you vulnerable to effects that reach well beyond your prostate. We've reached the point where knowledge becomes action. Understanding your body is powerful, but applying that understanding is what makes the difference in how you feel and function every day. Let's start with a natural approach that is both safe and backed by promising evidence. Incorporating foods rich in lycopene and certain plant compounds into your regular diet. One of the simplest, most effective examples is the humble tomato, but not just raw tomatoes. Cooking tomatoes, especially with a small amount of healthy fat like olive oil, increases the bioavailability of lycopene, an antioxidant linked to supporting prostate health. Lycopene may help reduce oxidative stress and support normal cell function within the prostate. This doesn't mean you need to eat tomatoes at every meal, but making them a regular part of your diet can be a worthwhile habit. Another excellent option is pumpkin seeds. They contain zinc, which plays a role in maintaining normal prostate size and function, as well as plant sterols that may support urinary comfort. Enjoying a small handful as a snack or sprinkling them over salads or oatmeal is a simple, easy-to-remember way to add them to your diet. Now, here's the bonus tip I promised: pelvic floor exercises. These are often associated with women's health, but they're equally valuable for men, especially for urinary control. By regularly performing controlled contractions of the pelvic muscles, you can strengthen the support around your bladder and urethra, which may help improve flow, reduce urgency, and support overall urinary health. Best of all, you can do these exercises almost anywhere, while sitting at your desk, waiting in traffic, or relaxing at home. But let's be clear. While these steps are powerful, they work best as part of an overall approach that includes staying active, drinking enough water, managing stress, and reducing highly processed foods. The synergy between these habits creates an environment in which your body can function at its best. I want to leave you with this thought: your health is one of the most valuable investments you'll ever make. Every small choice, whether it's the food on your plate, the time you take to stand and move, or the exercises you commit to, is like placing a deposit into a long-term account of vitality and independence. If you found these insights helpful, remember that you can be the reason someone else takes the first step toward better health. Share this message, pass it along to a friend, and let's build a culture where men look after their well-being with the same dedication they bring to their careers, families, and communities. And of course, if you want more practical science-based guidance on staying healthy and strong after 50, make sure to connect, engage, and keep learning, because the best investment in your future starts with what you do today.